An 11-year-old charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of a 3-year-old on Detroit's east side. Attorney Leon Weiss with the Fieger Law joins us now. Mr. Weiss, it seems unbelievable. A child 11 years old is facing a manslaughter charge at this point. What's going on here?
Well, Stephen, I should say that initially, after 39 years as a lawyer, I do respect Kim Worthy in her office. But in this case, I think the charges should not have been brought against this 11-year-old. There's no way that an 11-year-old can perceive the consequences of his or her conduct the same way that an adult can. And even the criteria here in manslaughter, which is to engage in behavior that creates a wanton, reckless disregard for human life, that's a criteria by which most adults can certainly be held to, but not an 11-year-old.
Let me ask you this. Kim Worthy put out a statement today, Wayne County prosecutor, saying, "I cannot remember a time when we charged someone so young with taking a life. Very unfortunately and very tragically, the alleged facts in this case demanded it," she said. So obviously there's more information that she knows than we all know right now, but you just don't think it'd be justified no matter what information she has?
Well, Joanne, at the very least, what could have been done in this case is something you can't do prior to charging an adult, and that is the juvenile court system has jurisdiction over this young man because of what happened with this tragedy. And the judge could have ordered a neuropsychological testing to be done on this young man. It might even reveal that his mental age is far below 11. Maybe it's 5 or 6 or 7, which would bear even more against charging him. Why did you have to charge him within 3 or 4 days of the incident? I fundamentally have a problem with charging an 11-year-old and holding an 11-year-old to the same standard as an adult, but at the very least, that inquiry could have been made.
Right now, this 11-year-old is in the juvenile program. How does this work legally? He has been charged with manslaughter. Now, will a juvenile court then decide to push him on to an adult court system? Will an adult court system decide to pull him up into that system? How's it going to work now?
No, the government or the prosecutor would have to petition the juvenile court system, and the criteria to have somebody, particularly that young, tried as an adult are fairly stringent. I don't believe that Kim Worthy is going to do that in this case. I don't think she would be successful. So the juvenile court, I believe, will remain the jurisdictional home for this case, and you know, there's a variety of outcomes that can happen in this case. He's entitled to due process, entitled to a trial, but if the case is worked out, the type of sentence in the juvenile system for somebody his age would be jurisdiction up to the age of 21. And that can be with a combination of incarceration and placement in a program or even home detention at some point. But I really think they should look into the psychological makeup of this young man, make a determination on an individual basis as to whether he had any idea. Many 11-year-olds think holding a gun is like playing a video game or holding a toy gun, and I have a hard time trying to hold his conduct to an adult standard.
I think some would say, though, at 11 years old, you at least know that a gun, I mean, I understand your point, but that it's a dangerous weapon and that, you know, you can't mess around with it. But that being said, let me ask you this, Leon. His parents, the boy's parents, apparently he got the gun from the closet, threw it outside, that's what we're hearing here at Action News, and then took it. Do they have any responsibility, or could they legally, by not having, say, the gun locked up?
Yeah, I don't know what the facts are, but let's assume, for the sake of argument, that the gun was easily accessible, out in the open, loaded, and not locked, and that the adults in charge of that household, who had awareness of the location of the gun, knew that kids were going to be around, such as this 11-year-old who I think they said was visiting his father. Yeah. If the authorities, the police and the prosecutor, determined that there was just abject negligence, it's possible that there could be a charge brought against the adult or adults responsible for the safekeeping of that gun.
All right, we'll keep our eye on it. Leon Weiss, Fieger Law, thank you as always for your expertise on this.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.